Now Joseph had been brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, the captain of the guard, an Egyptian, had bought him from the Ishmaelites who had brought him down there. The Lord was with Joseph, and he became a successful man, and he was in the house of his Egyptian master. His master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord caused all that he did to succeed in his hands. So Joseph found favor in his sight and attended him. And Potiphar made him overseer of his house and put him in charge of all that he had. From the time he made him overseer, the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. The blessing of the Lord was on all that he had in house and field. So Potiphar left all that he had in Joseph's charge. Because of him, he had no concern about anything but the food he ate. Now Joseph was handsome in form and appearance. After a time, his master's wife cast her eyes on Joseph and said, "Lie with me." But he refused and said, "Behold, because of me, my master has no concern about anything in the house, and he has put everything that he has in my charge. He is not greater in this house than I am, nor has he kept back anything from me except you, because you are his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" As she spoke to Joseph day after day, he would not listen to her, to lie beside her, or to be with her. But one day, when he went into the house to do his work, and none of the men of the house were there, she caught him by his garment and said, "Lie with me." But he left his garment in her hand and fled and got out of the house. When she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and had fled, she called to the men of her household and said, "See, he has brought among us a Hebrew to mock us. He came in to lie with me, and I cried out. As soon as he heard that I lifted up my voice, he left his garment beside me and fled and got out." Then she laid up his garment until his master came home. She told him the same story. As soon as I lifted up my voice, he left his garment beside me and fled. When Potiphar heard these words from his wife, his anger was kindled, and Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, the place where the king's prisoners were confined, and he was there in prison. But the Lord was with Joseph and showed him steadfast love, and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison put Joseph in charge of all the prisoners who were in the prison. Whatever was done there, he was the one who did it. The keeper paid no attention to anything that was in Joseph's charge, because the Lord was with him, and whatever he did, the Lord made it succeed. Some time after this, the cupbearer of the king of Egypt and his baker committed an offense against their lord, the king. And Pharaoh was angry with them and put them in custody in the house of the captain of the guard, in the prison where Joseph was confined. The captain of the guard appointed Joseph to be with them, and he attended them. They continued for some time in custody. And one night, both the cupbearer and the baker had a dream. Each had his own dream, with its own meaning. When Joseph came to them in the morning, he saw that they were troubled. So he asked them, Why are your faces downcast today?" They said, "We have had dreams, and there is no one to interpret them." And Joseph said, "Do not interpretations belong to God? Please tell them to me." So the chief cupbearer told his dream to Joseph. "In my dream there was a vine before me, and on the vine were 3 branches. As soon as it budded, it blossomed, and clusters ripened into grapes. Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup and placed the cup in his hand." Then Joseph said, "This is its interpretation. The 3 branches are 3 days. In 3 days, Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your office. You shall place Pharaoh's cup in his hand, as you used to do when you were his cupbearer. Only remember me when it is well with you. Mention me to Pharaoh so that I may get out of this house. For I was stolen out of the land of the Hebrews, and here I have done nothing that they should put me into the pit." When the chief baker saw the interpretation was favorable, he said to Joseph, "I also had a dream. There were 3 baskets on my head, and in the top basket were all kinds of baked food for Pharaoh. But the birds were eating it out of the basket on my head." And Joseph answered, "This is its interpretation. The 3 baskets are 3 days. In 3 days, Pharaoh will lift up your head from you and hang you on a tree, and the birds will eat your flesh. On the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, he made a feast and lifted up the heads of the chief cupbearer and the chief baker. He restored the chief cupbearer to his position, and he placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted. Yet the chief cupbearer did not remember Joseph, but forgot him.